I spent 3 years working with adolescents and young adults with developmental disabilities, and what I noticed with them is that it's a confidence thing a lot of times in maintaining a routine. Like whenever I would try to challenge them to do something out of the norm, that's usually when they felt the most uncomfortable. So just talk about the balancing act of focusing on enhancing their strengths versus exposing them to new activities.
Yeah, I would say that's a really good point with Troy. I think, like you said, it's really that feeling sense of control and in command of their day, right? And when something comes along and takes that away, it can be very upsetting and overwhelming because now they feel like I don't know what's in I don't really have that control anymore. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to expect. Kind of being dumped into a new situation, which is unsettling for many of us, right? And I always like to use the example of how we all felt when the coronavirus became a national pandemic, right? Or a global pandemic, and how we felt when we, started noticing grocery stores, offices, workplaces closing, schools closing. How are we feeling on a daily basis every time we would see the news, every time we would see the increasing in cases? That was very unsettling for us, right? So that's pretty much how many of our individuals on the spectrum, our autistic community, feels on a daily basis, right? It's, being born into a society that's not really structured for them. It can be overwhelming and overstimulating for them. So I would say for us, that's why it's so important for us to maintain our routines and our schedule. So we kind of breathe by our visual schedule for the boys because it just makes for an easier day for them, right? And for all. So we are adamant about making sure James Preston goes into his app now at the end of each night and he looks at the schedule that he has for the next day. We discuss it, we review it, any routines that he has. If it's, if he has speech the next morning, then we're going to go over that routine of what he needs to be prepared for speech. Make sure he has his notifications set for him to receive on his app within his watch that, 5 or 10 minutes, whatever he feels like he needs that kind of notification to know the transition is coming. That's what we do. We do what is best for our kids because it really makes for an easier, at times, house.